Okay. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Sarah Yap. I'm the Consumer Services Manager for Schoolage in the San Fernando Valley office. I wanted to introduce our panelists who will be speaking today. First, we have our parent panel, which includes Sean Lavery, Sung Yang, Veronica Rodriguez, and Carla Aguilar. We also have Leslie Anderson from LAUSD, Mariah Magdalena from Tierra del Sol. We have also Amy Robson, our transition supervisor from our San Fernando Valley office, and Lisa Carrillo, our workforce employment specialist for North LA. And so thank you all for joining us and for this parent perspective on Schoolage. And we'll just go down in regards to parents. Anyone would like to start first? Or I can pick someone. Maybe we'll start with Sean. Would you like to start?
Sure. Hello. How would you like me to proceed?
The floor is yours, but in regards to what you'd like to share in terms of your child, your experience within the regional center, kind of navigating the system, services, and just anything you'd like to share in regards to tips for families. So just your perspective as a parent.
Great. Okay, my name is Sean Lavery. I live in Studio City. My son is 7 years old. He had a stroke at birth, so that kind of led to a diagnosis of cerebral palsy, epilepsy. So you know the list goes on. So he has been a regional center consumer since he was about, I want to say, 6 weeks old. And overall, very positive experience. We had some really wonderful early intervention therapists, one of whom my wife went on to work for, so it continues to be a part of our life. I was asked here by our coordinator because I think we are the first family she used that did the social rec directive, because my son, who is now 7, he's in first grade in a public school. We were able to get he does the YMCA aftercare, and that has been funded by the regional center. Thank you to all regional center people out there who helped that. And our sort of description of why we thought that was necessary for him was that he really needs a lot of socialization. He had a pretty significant stroke, so the right side of his body physically is impacted. He wears a leg brace. He doesn't really use his right hand, but also that comes with a bunch of social and emotional delays. And so socializing obviously is a struggle, not a struggle for him, but something that he needs a lot of practice in. There was this little thing called COVID that happened, and so he missed out on a year or two of some stuff. So that was really helpful, and we've been able to use that as an alternative to self-determination, which was a path that my wife had gone down, and a little bit less complicated. For our needs, it seemed a bit better. And so, our regional center experience has been great. Post 3 years old, he has been doing an adaptive skills. He has an adaptive skills therapist who's come every week, and he's had the same one for about 2 years now and has a lovely relationship with her. And so, it's just the resources that are out there, once we learn about them, has been wonderful. I mean, I've had a crash course in advocacy. I know a lot of big words that I didn't know 7 years ago. And I will never forget the day. I mean, he was born with a stroke, so this was sort of like at birth, like, here is your stuff. You got to figure that out. And the nurses were like, call regional center right away. And I was like, what is that? What are you talking? I have no idea what this is, which was overwhelming at first, but which is why, again, I'm here. I love to talk about it, and I could probably talk for the whole duration of the time. It was like this mysterious thing I didn't know anything about, and it has there's obviously ups and downs with everything, but we have gotten a lot of good stuff out of it, and the social rec thing has been very helpful. We're also pursuing that for potentially karate class, which is something because he doesn't really use his right hand, and we've been lucky to have wonderful people help us. Did that answer what you wanted me to say?
Perfect. Thank you so much, Sean. I
You're very
appreciate
welcome.
sharing that information and for your words. Thank you.
Sure.
So next parent panelist, let's go with Sung Yang. I think I have you on mute right now.
Mr. Young, would you please unmute yourself?
Yes. So you want me to talk about the experience of the regional center?
Yes.
Yeah, my son is 10 years old, and he is on autism, and he's been, helped by a regional center since he was 4 years old, and recently now he got adaptive skills, and it's been a lot of help. He can get socialize with other friends. So I can help. I can get help from the adaptive skill behavior list. So it's always difficult just by myself. But yeah, I got a lot of help. So recently I heard about their you have new program, social recreational program, and Aiden, my son got a taekwondo, and he's interested in some art things. So I heard that I can get a help from the regional center also this activity. So I'm very excited about that. Yeah.
So, Mr. Young, if I may ask a question, and thank you so much for being here, number one, and for sharing your story. Is there anything that you could share with the audience with regards to when you started within the regional center system? How was your experience, and what information you feel that it really helped you, or that could have helped you if you were provided with that? Because I know, like Mr. Lavery mentioned at the beginning, it seems that you're just giving this precious little creature, but nothing else as far as what's next, what's life going to bring, and what does it mean being with the regional center. Is there anything that you could share with us?
Yeah, it's just always first time you found out my son has autism. It was kind of was sad, but yeah, but I got a lot of help from not only our regional center, also school, and the regional center coordinator gave us a lot of information how to manage this, how we get a help from the a lot of sources. So yeah, it was very thankful that it was always more than I expected. At the time I was feeling kind of lonely with my wife. We don't know how to manage this my son's condition, but yeah, I found that there are a lot of help. So yeah, I always thankful for that, and yeah, this thing. Yes, because I'm sorry, I didn't know this. I can express myself for this meeting. I thought I was just joining, and then is listening.
Oh,
Yes.
you're doing great. You're doing great. But
Yeah.
thank you for sharing this with us. We really thank you for this.
Yes, thank you again. So let's go with our next parent panelist, Carla Aguilar.
Hello. Hi, my name is Carla Aguilar. I have a 9-year-old boy. His name is Ozzy, and he is in 3rd grade, LAUSD special ed program. We started with the regional center when my son was, I want to say, a year and a half. He wasn't meeting, or a little bit less than a year and a half. He wasn't meeting his milestones at that time. I felt that he was a little delayed, compared to his older brother. But being in a Latino family, you're like, oh, he's gonna catch up. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with him. So I'm like, okay, listening to my husband, just leave it alone. He's gonna catch up in his time. Until he had an appointment with this pediatrician, and he's like, okay, he's not talking. That's not okay. He gave me a paper for the regional center. I never heard of this. I didn't know what it was. So I went ahead and I called, and they told me a little bit about it and how it worked. And it was a very long consultation over the phone. And I was like, when they asked all these questions and I couldn't answer to them because my son wasn't doing them, I was like, oh wow, he does need help, So they, at that moment, they're like, well, he would qualify for physical therapy because his balance wasn't very well. He started walking really late, maybe almost like at a year and 4 months. And so then speech, well, my son's nonverbal still. But during that time, they offered all these therapies. But my counselor at that time, she was amazing. She was trying to get them for me, but I understand it's really hard. So I'm like, how can I help you? So we can speed this up for my son. So what I started doing is I started calling clinics and to see if they had any openings for regional center kids, if they were accepting clients, and my child would be a possible a client. And they would tell me yes or no. So when I got all these all these therapies for my son, I called my coordinator. I'm like, you know what, this clinic has an opening. Can you go ahead? She's like, oh my God, Carla, you're amazing. I wish, I'm like, well, I'm trying to get the ball rolling because I know my son needs this. So we were able to speed up the course and we started therapies really fast. And we were going to, oh my God, I can't believe it. I was even pregnant during that time. And I was taking my son to, I want to say, maybe 9 therapies a week. He was having twice speech, 2 times OT, physical therapy, feeding therapy, speech therapy. Like it was such a big help. And all these, the people that work there, you start to see things that you never saw before, or simple things that you can do at home to help your child. And I just thought it was amazing when you start to know that you have a child with special needs. Like these therapists, they're not just a therapist, they become your friends, because they understand what you're going through or what you're doing. And so then we did all of this for my son. And when it was time for him for the regional center to end early intervention at age 3, we still didn't know what my son at that moment had, because the doctor didn't want to do genetic testing. So that was a whole different thing. But then when regional center diagnosed my son with autism, and then LAUSD just said global delays, I felt there was more. So by 3.5, my son got genetic testing and he was diagnosed with DiGeorge syndrome. So it's a chromosomal disorder where he's missing a piece of his 22nd chromosome. And also he also is epileptic and autistic, nonverbal, like I said. We have a little bag of Skittles. And every day we're learning, you know. We have my coordinator that I have, Maria Lorenzo. She's been really great. She's been telling me about programs that they have, that they offer, you know. She's during, like, when COVID hit, it was so scary because you want to, you know, you can get these services because sometimes you don't know what's out there. You don't know what they can offer. Sometimes I'm like, I need to go to the laundromat. I have 3 other kids. I need to go, and I have no one to watch my child. How do I do this? And my coordinator's like, Carla, relax. You know, you can get oh my God, the word went out of my mind, where someone comes to your home and watches him. Respite. So I was like, okay, at that time I had someone that was was able to do it, and they got regional center guided me how to the process of that, and that was amazing because I was able to do the laundromat. I was able to get a little time off because as a parent with a special needs child, it's a lot. It's a lot that goes on in through our mind and our body and everything, and having extra help helps a lot. So I'm really happy that we have these programs here that help us. And I'm really happy that there's Spanish speaking helpers, because there's a lot of kids or parents that don't know how to communicate in English and don't know that this exists. You know, they don't know about the regional center. They don't know that their child can get therapies, and before they turn 3, they could get a lot of help, or even after, once they have a you know, I don't know, I don't like to say diagnosis, but sorry, my mind is so that there's help. And I'm so happy for this program that's able to help a lot of families. And that's us. So I don't know what else to say.
Thank you so much, Carla. I really appreciate you sharing your story. Thank you.
Sarah, if I can just say one thing,
Yes.
Ms. Soriano, I know that in our audience is Ms. Darlene Soriano, who had posted a question in the chat and also in the Q&A. Ms. Soriano, I will get to you. I'm going to write my email in the box. Le voy a escribir mi correo electrónico en la caja del chat, señora Soriano. Estoy viendo su pregunta. So, si usted me puede mandar, por favor, su información por correo electrónico, así yo me puedo comunicar con usted para darle solución a su pregunta que tiene. Gracias. Sorry.
Thank you. And then our last parent panelist, we have Veronica Rodriguez.
Hello, my name is Veronica Rodriguez. My daughter is Daniela Rodriguez. She's 9 years old. She's in 4th grade now with Saugus District. I started noticing something was not right when she was about 13 months. I took her to the doctor, and the doctor was like, no, just wait a little bit longer to see what's going on. I requested a second opinion. And she got diagnosis when she was like 14 months. She's autistic. And right away, the doctor recommended to go to the regional center. I filled out the application. I received a phone call within like a day or two. It was really easy. I feel very, very comfortable. Right away, they come over and they do the assessment for her to see what are her needs. And the process was really easy for me. I feel extremely blessed. The opportunity the regional center had been my daughter and my family, because it's a really hard time when you receive something that, oh, it's autistic, and you don't even know what it is, until you deep the situation. But regional center is truly been a bless for our family, not only for Daniela, because we see big improvement in her. She was getting speech, OT, the child development therapies, group therapies. I was taking her like 5 times a week, and my daughter changed from day to 9 with those therapies. It's amazing. And every time that I feel that I need something or have a question, my coordinator, Estella, she is truly amazing. I feel really, really happy that we have her in our lives as our coordinator, but I feel blessed to have regional center hand to hand with parents with child with special needs, because it's a big support, and I feel that without regional center, it will be a big headache. When COVID hit, respite was a big help for me. I have another daughter, and my other daughter was me helping with its school and everything. And Daniela was doing amazing on Zoom because I have the help. And I feel really, really happy and really blessed to receive all the help that Regional Center is providing to our family.
If I may say something, I want to, from the bottom of our heart, we really want to thank you for sharing all your great stories, which, as all of you can see, they are so different, but so impactful. And there's so many needs that are still out there, and there's so much support that each and every one of you, it continues to need and continues to receive. So we want to thank you for really sharing with us how your journey has been, and really seeing that your children are doing that progress, right? That it's so valuable. Any tiny little thing is a breath of fresh air. Is just a lot of value in that. So we want to thank you for that, and I'm sure the audience as well, really, really had the same sentiment. So I just wanted to take a few minutes, Sarah, just to thank all of you.
Thank
We
you.
learn a lot from you.
Thank you. I just wanted to say thank you again. It's amazing to have services. They're backing up all the parents to make our life easier. Thank you.
Thank you, Veronica. You're very right. And without the teamwork between Regional Center and the families, we are all here for your children. And thank you for sharing your experience to everyone here. So really appreciate you being here. Next, I wanted to introduce our other guests. We have, I will introduce Yami Robinson, our transition supervisor, who will provide more information regards to LAUSD and other programs.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Yami Robinson. As Sarah has indicated, I'm the transition supervisor. So as you guys know, you go through school age, you'll come to transition. So I look forward to working with your families. And this is an honor to be here today to hear the stories in regards to the services that we provide your family. I have a great panel of 2 individuals I want to present to you guys in regards to LAUSD. We have Leslie Anderson. I'm going to let her speak now in regards to LAUSD programs, as well as a great program called Project Search. And please know, I know you're thinking like, well, why are we talking about LAUSD? Why, they're still young, but we want to get you prepared, because I tell you now, as you said, 3 years old, 8 years old, 10 years old, they're going to be 14 before we know it. And we want to get them prepared to what their skill set's going to be. What do they want to achieve when they become young adults? And we have so many great programs out there to support you. So Leslie?
Yeah. Hi, Leslie Anderson here. I'm an LAUSD teacher. I've made a little slideshow. So here we go. So on the beginning, here we go. Okay. So I've been an LAUSD teacher. First, I want to say those stories meant a lot to me. I don't really get to hear that much about parent experiences with the regional center like that. And thank you, Regional Center, for all that you do. And parents, thank you for your vulnerability and your sharing. I really respect you very much. So I've been teaching with LAUSD again for 26 years. And, when I first started teaching, I taught it. There I am. I taught elementary school, and I really fell in love with my students. I spent a lot of time with them as a special education teacher for students with moderate to severe disabilities, like a lot of love. And I didn't have them for 1 year, I had them for 3. And so I was very protective, and I didn't know what LAUSD had to offer. And, I can't imagine how protective you must feel. I mean, I feel big love for my students. So I didn't know what was out there. And so I thought I wanted to find out. So to find out, I started teaching high school. And so I kind of stalked my students and went to the high school level. And what I found was pretty remarkable, because I knew that functional academics were very important, but in the high school setting, we had opportunities to do school-based businesses. So we had at Kennedy High School, where I taught, we had a cafe where students learned to become bussers and servers and hosts and cashiers and all that. And they really got to take their functional academics to the school. They really got to use it in real life and generalize it. Not only that, they did a coffee business. So in this picture is Asher, and he was kind of a little bit isolated from the school community, but because he was non-ambulatory, and sometimes they couldn't find a way for him to feel like he was really contributing. And he became like one of our prime servers for our coffee business. You can see him in his chair. He has his little Dynavox and his speech devices, and he would take orders and he would bring the baked goods out. And we were integrated with the general education peers at the high school as well. So there's a lot of opportunities for that. And there's just another little picture of that. So then I became very protective of people at that time, and I had them for 4 years. And I thought, gosh, our program is so strong. There's such a strong integration piece. We've got school-based businesses, they're taking classes. I don't want to let them go. And then they're telling me they have to go to the career and transition centers. And so I'm like, I don't want to tell my parents to leave me if I don't know what is out there, because again, I'm protective of those I love. So I made it my business to find out, and I toured the career and transition centers. And not only that, my husband got a job at one of them. He's a teacher. He was a teacher then too. And so I went to Miller Career and Transition Center, Leachman Career and Transition Center. Where are you, Leachman? Stuck. One sec. Leachman Career and Transition Center, there we go. And then there's Lohman Career and Transition Center. And what I saw was there is a whole bunch of different work strands that my students could be a part of. And if they were on my campus for longer, they'd just be doing, it was great, but it'd be more of the same. So at the Career and Transition Centers, they had auto detailing, they still had a cafe, they had a bakery that is serving everyone in the community. They have farms and agriculture and a farmer's market, and just so many different programs and work strands for the students to go through over the course of the next 4 years. And so I definitely, from the minute I learned about these and I really, really dug in, I really told my parents it was in their child's best interest for them to move on, as much as I hated losing them. And so in my search, I also found out about the CATS program for people that are a match to this program, the Center for Advanced Transition Skills. And that in the Valley, we have one at Pierce College and one at Mission College. And this is for students that can learn to travel on their own on the bus, and that they can learn to work independently and take some classes that are appropriate for them and that are matched to them at the college. And so I didn't know about that, and I thought that was fantastic. And then this is where I landed. I'm now a project search teacher, and right now I'm coming to you live from Kaiser Permanente Medical Center, Woodland Hills. that's my classroom now. So the interns in my program now, to be a match, you have to be, really want to work, and you have to be able to learn how to travel independently and work independently. The interns in this program work in different departments. They're stocking surgical cards, picking up lab specimens, working in food and nutrition services. I mean, they're all over the place, and for reals jobs that are higher level skill sets, and they're just routine, but they can be complex. And what happens next is an even more beautiful part. So you can either stay at the CTC, you can go to the college program, you can come to Project Search, and within Project Search, we have an extra component that's kind of amazing. And I'll let Mariah just tell you about that really quick.
Hi, everyone. My name is Mariah Magdaleno. I'm the program manager at Tierra del Sol. So in Project Search, Tierra del Sol has built a really strong relationship, not just with the host business Kaiser, but with LAUSD. And our role is quite big because we support the interns or students on a daily basis. So we get to know their families, we get to know them personally. And we just make sure that they develop strong workforce skills and help them learn how to create resumes or cover letters, be a little bit more independent, travel training, different things like that. We really get to make their transition from being a student in high school to early adulthood. And we make that transition as smooth and easy as possible for everybody. And at Tierra del Sol, we champion inclusion and value for all people with disabilities through creative pathways to employment, education, and the arts. Of course, Project Search is really towards employment, but Tierra has 3 different offers that we do. So again, I'll repeat that. It's a college to career, the arts, and workforce. So all of our different programs at Tierra del Sol are really person-centered. Everybody has an extremely different plan. There's no 2 paths that are alike. And we, at Tierra del Sol, we're always looking for what's the next best thing. We have so many different options in our workforce department. We have volunteer services for those that may need it to build extra skills. We have paid internships for individuals who maybe need to strengthen their resumes. And then of course we have that supported employment for those that are a little bit more independent and learning how to get to and from work on their own. So those are some options of what Tierra del Sol is and how we support and work alongside LAUSD, our students, and at Kaiser.
Yeah, and just one last thing. So the goal of Project Search is employment, and within the last 2 years, 15 of our graduates have been employed, which is pretty, I gotta say, that's amazing, and it's quite a high number, and that's what the Project Search program is all about. It's actually all over the world. There's hundreds of them, and it was started in 1996. You can look it up online. It's a pretty remarkable program, and the construction of it is such that it produces the results. So yeah, and Tierra del Sol and the regional center are a big part of that. Thank you. Thanks,
So
Mariah.
Leslie, if I may add, and thank you, Mariah, because I think it, we mentioned as we are listening to all these great stories and input, we started with Early Start, right? Miss Carla, you were mentioning about what your journey started, but all of you started as young children. Now we are in school age. Next step, once they turn 14, they're going through transition. What does that mean? That means middle school, then it's high school, and then it's adult life. And so as you can see, all those partnerships and collaborations that we are able to establish really helps the families to feel that it's a full circle, right? That we are all here together. And, as you go through each stage of life, there are resources, there are programs, there are services that will help you to continue that support that is needed. So I'm so glad that we're just giving a glimpse as far as, because like Yemi says, so you probably are thinking, why do I have to think about employment? Well, our goal is to really build those independent skills at any given time, whether it is just to get something in the creative arts, just like Mariah was saying, right? Just in art. And we love to see the art pieces that our clients do. And we even have some art, paintings here in our offices, which we love from your program. And so I think that that's what our system, it was created, to make sure that everyone is part of the community, that everybody has an opportunity for inclusivity, that everybody is starting at a very young age, that we're providing those resources and information to our families. So you know what choices you have. The choice is yours, the choice is for our clients. And so you can have little pieces here just to start having those conversations and really seeing what the goals for you, for your family, for your child is as you move forward through our system. So thank you for that. Sorry, Yemi, I step in.
No, please. Thank you. And thank you, Leslie. Thank you, Mariah. And now regards to employment, I know that we keep on discussing employment, that we want to inform you guys that we have this great opportunity through DDS, that we have a grant called the Workforce Employment Grant. And this grant is really focusing on what is the barriers that we're finding regards to finding employment and also getting job opportunities in the community, regardless of development disability. So we have this great grant, and I'm going to let Lizeth Carrillo present. She is our workforce employment specialist. And it's just going to let you guys know regards to resources and what this grant means to the regional center and how we're really advocating to get the data to show, hey, we need more work programs like Tierra del Sol. We need more project search opportunities. So this information builds programs with this data that we're gathering with this great grant. But I'm going to let Lizeth speak now. And thank you, everyone.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lizeth Carrillo, and I'm the Workforce Employment Specialist here at Regional Center. I want to say thank you to the parents for sharing their stories and seeing the impact that Regional Center has had. Sandra's going to be, okay, give me 1 second. Okay. I want to present our employment programs here at Regional Center. Next slide, please. Next slide. Oh, there you go. So we have 2 incentive employment programs. We have paid internship. Next slide. And we have a competitive integrated employment. Our paid internship helps increase vocational skills and the abilities needed for employment. The goal for a paid internship is to lead to the competitive integrated employment. Services are provided in a 1-to-1 staffing ratio and are developed via the person-centered planning process. In competitive integrated employment, consumers earn at above the minimum wage, and they receive the same level of benefits and work in an integrated setting. Next slide, please. Regional Center also has, oh, sorry. Regional Center also has DR funded services. DR funded supportive employment program. And it's the goal to find competitive integrated employment with ongoing support services to learn and perform the work. There's 2 types of supportive employment. We have individual placement and we have group placement. The job coaches provide ongoing support to help our consumers learn the skills necessary and behaviors to work independently. As the consumers gain mastery of the job, the support services gradually fade out. Supportive employment vendors require that the consumer is able to provide their own transportation, so by ways of public transportation or private. DRR also requires Regional Center to complete a DS 1968 form that must be signed by the conservator or the consumer service coordinator. Next slide. And Sandra, if you can click one more time, please. There you go. As I mentioned, there's 2 types of supportive employment. We have individual placement and group placement. Group supportive employment, the job coach provides support for groups of 3 up to 8 individuals. The individuals are paid at the low minimum wage based on their productivity. Where when we have individual placement, the job coach is at a 1-to-1 staffing ratio, and the individuals are paid at a minimum wage or above. The supports also gradually fade out. Next slide, please. With the grant, we want to make sure that in our individual program plan, the IPPs, we have an employment objective. And we are an employment first state, and we want to support our consumers to become independent and live productive and integrated lives. The state employment first policy established by the Lanterman Developmental Disability Services Act provides opportunities for integrated and competitive employment shall be given to our consumers regardless of the severity of their disabilities. Our philosophy here at North Los Angeles County Regional Center is to expect independence and self-sufficiency for our consumers from birth through adult life. So all the services you receive from when they were younger should lead to greater independence and self-sufficiency once they're adults. We want to keep employment in the front lines, and employment should be an expectation and not an option. Integrated employment should be the first option considered for every adult we support. The consumer must indicate an interest to work. The consumer service coordinator and the consumers work together to select an agency that they would like to get support from. Just like earlier we heard about Tierra del Sol, that is one of our vendors. Next slide, please. Here are some generic resources for employment. You can scan the QR code with your phones to obtain more information. We have Department of Rehabilitation, City of Los Angeles, Goodwill, Southern California, and Men's Poverty. I'll let it stay on there for a little bit. Next slide, please. And here's our contact information here at Regional Center. My contact's the last one, the Workforce and Employment Specialist. I just want to thank you guys so much for your time, and I look forward to working together in the near future. You can email me or call me. I understand that this information may not be for you, but maybe you know someone. So we appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lisa. And we'll put the information also in the chat as well. And we will have this information on our website, North LA Regional Center website as well.
Doesn't look like there are any questions on the chat other than the earlier question from Ms. Soraya. I don't see anybody, but if anybody has a question, please feel free to raise your hands and we will unmute your microphone. Or you can feel free to write your questions on the chat. Doesn't look like we have anything, Christina.
I see one in the Q&A.
Oh, you're absolutely correct. My mistake. I'm going to read it for everyone just in case. I hope individuals with ID and /DD can find competitive integrated employment. Oftentimes there are low expectations and people do not realize their full potential. Even with a job, the family will still need to be supporting the consumer in some way because cost of living in most places in California is really high. Even with multiple jobs, cannot afford rent or mortgage. How do you find what the consumer is interested in doing and what they most are capable of doing?
That's a great question. And thank you for putting that in the Q&A. I think in regards to, and I'm not saying think, but discussing regards to LAUSD's program, the career transition programs, that can establish the vocational training needed early on to kind of figure out what are your son or daughter's strengths and what are the kind of interests they have. Because like Leslie indicated, we've had very great success with the Project Search program. I personally have watched this program grow in the last 3 years, where I have seen individuals who didn't even know what they wanted to do at the age of 14, 15, but realized, oh, I actually like to do working with X-ray technician, do some filing. We want to start achieving those opportunities now early on to start volunteering and look at the career transition programs at Leachman, Miller Transition, as well as Loman. And also, this is a great opportunity to talk to your service coordinator. I don't want to make this big announcement yet, but I can tell you we have a really great fair coming up called Life After High School. We're just confirming the dates right now. I really would encourage you to come attend. It's going to be at 2 different locations where there are going to be numerous vendors who are going to be from employment, adaptive skills, independent living services, that you can ask them all the questions, and they'll be having great information out to give to families. So it's going to be coming very soon. Hopefully I'll have the dates confirmed by next week, but it's going to be happening in 2023. So again, it's just more having that conversation and talking with the school, where we have DOTS teachers, as well as your service coordinators in regards to those programs and what they look like for your son or daughter. Any other questions from anyone else? And that's a great question.
There are no other questions that I can see either on the chat or on the Q&A. I am sharing a link for today's presentation if anybody's interested in looking at that. Thank you very much. Okay, well, thank you, everybody. Christina, do you want to have some final words?
I think I will pass it to Sarah as well, but I just wanted, like I said previously, I want to thank each and every one of our panelists here, our parents, and also our presenters and from our community organizations, because I think, again, all our partnership, our collaboration, and, you know, the system is not perfect. Definitely it's not. We still have a lot of a place to grow, but I think going and working on this together, that's what is going to really bring a much better system for our clients, for our children, as they continue to grow and more opportunities. And we're always open for suggestions. So from you as parents, from consumers, if they feel that there is something else that we should be looking into, definitely please let us know, let your service coordinators know, so that we can put it into our radar, so that we can together work for a better future for everyone. So thank you. And I don't know, Sarah.
Yes, thank you, Christina. Again, I want to thank our parent panelists, Sean, Sung, Veronica, and Carla. Thank you for participating today, as well as for our other guests from LAUSD and Tierra del Sol. And thank you again. If there were any questions that you were not comfortable to ask in front of the entire group for the presentation, please feel free to reach out to your individual service coordinator if there were any questions that you had as a result of this afternoon's town hall. But if there's no other questions, again, thank you for taking the time to spend with us and to hear these stories. And we look forward to seeing you at our next town hall.
Thank you, everyone, and thank you for answering our survey. Have a great afternoon. Bye.
Thank you.